time on Disrupt Education, I got Darrah here,
Okay.
and I am in his studio. So here we go. Let's go. What's up with Darrah? What's happening with you now? What are you about?
I am getting back to putting out content is what I'm trying to do now. I think a lot has changed in the industry, and so when I think about an album, and I still would love to do an album, but right now I'm kind of focused on just trying to put out constant content and grow my fans, kind of reconnect with people and start growing again. Is what I'm trying to do.
So you've done a lot of different things coming up until we're here in 2018. Tell us about your path from basically high school all the way until today. What did that look like? Lots of pivots.
Yeah, so high school, so I went to the University of Illinois at Chicago to play baseball, really. And I thought I was going to major in graphic design because I like to draw. I was really artistic in high school, and, you know, not knowing, only having a handful of majors to choose, it was like graphic design. So then I got into that, hated it, and was also told by the university that I couldn't play baseball and graphic design at the same time, which
that's odd.
Yeah. So, but I discovered there was a film school there, and that was part of the first year of the Art Foundation. You had to take a whole bunch of different classes. So I ended up majoring in film and photo, video, and fell in love with that, and graduated, and then started interning, working at like on commercial shoots and stuff like that, and but I really wasn't doing anything creative, you know. And so from there, kind of bounced around. A friend of mine was going to take a class at Second City, and I was also into writing, and my film ideas was always like trying to get into something along the lines of comedy, you know, whether it was advertising or actual like TV or films. So Second City was kind of that was a great time. It was 4 years of, I got hooked. Went to Second City, Improv Olympic, the Annoyance Theater. Was part of the community for 4 or 5 years. Was one of the not founding members, but original members of the Playground Theater, which is still going to this day. But music was always like, you know, in the back of my mind, so it was like I need to do a record, and this was in 1999, so I did my first CD on like $1,000 budget. This was before, you know, smartphones, before home recording equipment, all that, you know, but I found a great studio and got some guys to play on it, worked on it. I named it Farina Dumpling. It's after my grandmother, who was a piano player. It's a soup that she made. It's kind of a tip my hat to her. And it did really well. And then I started getting gigs from putting out, you know, those discs and just playing anywhere and everywhere I could. So I was playing. I ended up doing it full time for a while, just gigging. So I was gigging 3, 4, 5 nights a week, anywhere, you know, mostly bars, in the corner of some bar playing, you know, but people would hear a song, I would take a cover song and kind of redo it, and that would kind of bring people in, and then they'd buy a CD, and then I would do original shows, and so that's how and then I focused on music for a good, from like 99 to about 2006, and then my wife and I wanted to have children, and you know, as soon as
family man
children came, music sort of went to the back, and I really wasn't doing what I wanted to do. I was playing a lot of bar gigs and just getting burned out of sitting in the corner of playing covers and not really engaging with people. I was just kind of background, like wallpaper, you know, and that's really not why I wanted to do music in the first place. It's like I wanted to put out original music and do concerts, you know, and the only way I was making money was really just doing these bar gigs, which was kind of destroying my love of music and my passion, you know, so I needed to just get away and get a job so I didn't have to rely on just playing my guitar 5 nights a week, you know.
So where did you pivot to, and where you are now?
So yes, I'm still there, same company 14 years later. A friend of mine who's in my band, his name's Dan Anderson, he started working at this focus group facility called the Energy Annex. They just opened their doors in 2004. Really kind of hip, unique idea. And I was really interested, and I knew that the owners were, they were answering the phones, and they had just started, and it just seemed like a cool idea and a cool company to be part of. So I got, they needed help, and I ended up, I'm there now, 14 years later, I'm still there. So they got it set up and moved to Boulder, and it's just now me and another girl run it with just a couple part-time people, and it's been a great job for a family, but I'm always thinking about
your
this.
pivot is coming back to, again, like you're rekindling your passion. Tell us a little bit about that. What have you been starting to do? What are you looking at doing?
Well, so for a while, what I think the interesting thing is I reached a point where I really tried to just quit, like it's not going to happen. Now we have 3 kids, life's too busy, the industry changed, music is free, I can't think of a way to make a living doing music, and it's too frustrating, and whatever, it's fine, that was in the past, I'll just move on. I was fine with thinking that was like a good decision to make, and the problem is, anyone who's passionate about anything, is it doesn't go away, your passion's just always there, so you have to figure out how it's going to fit into your life. And that's really why it's not that I even want to get back, it's like I need to get back. I'm happier, I'm like, not as edgy and anxious and irritable if I'm just at least a couple times a week just get up here and play something, So that was the original idea of what kind of content can I put out without a whole lot of time during the week to do this. And that's why I thought, just play live, record it, and keep it short and sweet instead of putting stuff out there. At least it's not, because an album's such a big kind of project, and it starts to get like daunting. Like, okay, gotta write songs, gotta find musicians, recording studio, all that stuff, money, and so a lot of times that would just be such a big daunting project that I would just be like, that's why I was like, no, music's done, I can't do it anymore. But this, I think, as a starting point, putting out these videos now is just, it's manageable for me, and my schedule to at least get up here a couple times a week and just record, and then I can edit everything on my phone now, and which is crazy because I was telling you in the film school in the 90s.
Which we kind of both were in.
Yeah.
I wasn't in film, but I was broadcast, but still. The amount of equipment and the things that we had to put up with, right?
Yeah, it would literally take me the minute-long videos that I make on YouTube that I make in like an hour would take me a semester. In college, it would have just been, it would not have even looked anywhere near as good. Do
you use the same type of like methodology in creating your YouTube videos and stuff that you learned?
Yeah, UIC was really like, the first semester was like, here's how to use the actual equipment, and that that was all like actual film. So that doesn't really apply, and then they just really let you just go and explore. So really we didn't learn a lot like you would in probably other film schools. It was really more about they were really pushing the indie kind of experimental films, and just like I did a couple narratives, but most people were doing like really weird avant-garde kind of like experimental filmmaking.
It's the 90s, man.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like, just go. But yeah, some of the stuff in lighting, I just know, lights are good. Like the more light you can fill a room is better. You can always bring it down, stuff like that. But I think editing techniques and stuff is just from watching a lot of movies and film and just really paying attention to how they put it together. I think is where I try to pick up. And now with like YouTube videos that you can, learning how to, like I've downloaded this app, Filmic Pro, which allows you to shoot in 24 frames per second. So it looks a little bit more like film, and you can adjust your aperture and exposure and the color and everything else and just tweak things. It's just so easy now to be,
Right. So, going back then to your path of education and the different things that we were learning as we were going through a bunch of things, what would you do differently? What if you could go back, like even in a traditional sense in high school or college? What do you wish they prepared you for a little bit better?
I think being an artist, there's really not. I think it's good to go to school, but to get a degree is not going to do anything in the arts. Like if you're trying to be a filmmaker, a writer, a musician, your degree is not going to like get you a job. You're going to have to go make stuff. So in a way, sometimes I'm like, I probably should have got something like just a skill set of, you know what I mean? Like if you're going to go to college, and luckily baseball paid for my college, so like I didn't have, a lot of debt or anything like that. So, but I would probably say to another artist, like get something that you still enjoy doing, but is like a job, Like I don't know if like accounting is just like an example, but like not that I would have been an accountant, but like like to me, if you're going to go to college and spend the money on it, but you're an artist, but you're going to go to college and spend the money, then I would spend it on something probably more practical. And I know I would never have said that when I was 18, 19 years old.
You're right.
But looking back at it, like I would almost rather say if you're going to be an artist, then go be an artist and maybe don't go to college, or maybe take it slow, take some classes or whatever, just don't dive in, especially if you're going to go into debt.
Did they offer you like internships? Did you have an internship at UIC? Or something that you were working in the field?
No, I mean, after I graduated, I just hustled myself and got it. I mean, I got a list of production companies and, just started sending resumes and calling, and that's how I drummed up my first internship. So I'm sure a lot's changed there. I mean, I had a great time, and I don't want to like badmouth UIC at all, but it was really kind of, there was a few contacts that one of my professors had that he gave me, and I worked a few small jobs, but I think, the hard part is you don't know. I think it would have been better to do that earlier in college too, because I waited until after my senior year. I was already done. And then found out what I didn't want to do, which I got into like what an editor does every day. I was like, I really don't want to be an editor. What a production assistant or a director does shooting commercials, 18-hour days and like just really tedious. I was like, I don't want to do this. So now I was like, what am I going to do now? Like, college is over.
Would have been better to have an experience like that before you walk in to school, or
absolutely,
maybe early on.
Absolutely, like I think getting just job shadowing. I mean, that doesn't cost any money if you can find somebody to do it. I mean, the internship, they weren't paying me anything. I mean, I was getting school credit, but most people were pretty eager to help. At least an informational interview, and I did a lot of those just talking to, but I should have done those early in schools to just talk to as many people as you possibly can in any field that you think you might be interested in, and if you could job shadow them for an hour or two just to kind of see what they actually do, because you have no idea. You're picking a major in college. It's like, I don't know, marketing, business, whatever, and once you get out and see what people are doing every day, I think it would,
So what's next for Dan Darrah? And the music. We know your job's there.
Yeah,
in
job's
music.
there. So music, I think I want to keep expanding my YouTube channel. And so I want to start putting out original stuff as well. I've been doing like remixes of, I put it out on social media for people to come back to me of like ideas for cover songs. And I like doing that, and it's easier for people to kind of get into my style of music because they're already familiar with the song, and it's less, it's easier for me as far as I don't have to write material. It's like I just take a song that's already created and like rearrange it my own way. But so I want to keep expanding on these films and just doing longer, more, just storytelling, some original stuff, and eventually start playing shows again. I would love to get a band to get back together. So it's just, just little steps of,
right.
Just slowly but surely. And you've been a big help with inspiration.
I'm disrupting Dan Darrah.
Yeah, it's very encouraging.
Well, I think it's really cool to see, guys our age getting into kind of what younger people are doing online and different things like that. I think it's a wide open market. And you're proving that, building up your YouTube channel and the journey is really what it's all about. And your journey is a story. So I really enjoy it. We'll put all your stuff down below. But man, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming on into the Darrah studio. All right, we'll see you next time on Disrupt Education.